Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I like that. Yes, ma'am. Okay, are you ready? Thanks. Good afternoon. I'm calling to order the December 9th, 2025 meeting of the Elkhart Redevelopment Commission. First item is I need a motion to amend the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. As a reminder to the public, the Redevelopment Commission accepts in-person public comment and virtual public comment related to specific agenda items or during the privilege of the floor. To participate virtually, please join us via WebEx and be sure you are visible and audible and that your name is displayed. Okay. Hey. Do we have any bids to open? Oh, look at you. Surprised me. Oh,
We do not.
I thought you had one. Thank you. Next item, preliminary bond resolution for South Main Street and Woodland Crossing infrastructure construction.
Yeah, good afternoon. Mike Huber, Development Services Director, City of Elkhart. Early this fall, the City of Elkhart Department of Redevelopment applied for funding through the state's Residential Infrastructure Assistance Program, RIF. The program provides low-interest loans to communities to finance infrastructure projects that support residential housing development. Funds are provided to communities through the issuance of a bond with an identified repayment source. The bond is then purchased by the Indiana Finance Authority, providing the capital upfront to construct the project. The city's application was for $10 million to support two critical new development projects that were also recipients of Lilly Endowment Blight Elimination funding through the IEDC and include the Freight Street 1000 block of South Main Street project. This includes $50 million mixed-use development with 210 new multifamily housing units. The residential infrastructure program funds will support the project by constructing new water and streetscape improvements on South Main Street between the railroad crossing and Prairie Street. The Woodland Crossing Neighborhood Opportunity Hub project includes transformation of an underperforming shopping center into thriving mixed-use neighborhood, including the development of 140 new housing units. The RIP funds will support the project by constructing new sewer and water infrastructure to serve the new housing and to construct right-of-way, sidewalk, and parking improvements to facilitate walkability and traffic calming within the neighborhood. The city was notified in November that the projects were selected for and approved for RIF funding by the Indiana Finance Authority Selection Committee in the amount of $10 million. The bond resolution under consideration at today's meeting is the first step in the process of accessing those funds. The city anticipates utilizing future TIF revenues from the South Consolidated TIF to repay those bonds. I'll take a minute. I'll walk through kind of each of the two project improvements, give you a little bit of an overview of the amount of funding that's requested for each of them, and a little overview of the timeline. For South Main Street, you can see this diagram breaks the project in 3 phases, but as we noted, it's for the infrastructure and streetscape to support the development agreement that we finalized with the Garrison Fraser Development Company to construct their projects on Freight and in the 1000 block of South Main. The current and existing infrastructure under South Main Street in this area is well over 100 years old. So this is the opportunity for us to get in there and replace the existing infrastructure and improve the gateway into downtown with improved streetscape amenities. We have an preliminary engineering estimate for the project that indicates the project will cost in the neighborhood of $4.1 to $4.2 million. Final construction drawings are currently underway and should be completed in Q1 of 2026. We anticipate bidding the project in Q1 2026 and starting construction in Q2 of 2026. For Woodland Crossing, I'll give you a little overview. This is from the new master development plan for Woodland Crossing. The area on the west side, which will be fronting Benham Avenue, The buildings in the white are the anticipated new construction of housing units. We would anticipate adding as many as 140 new housing units, along with some opportunities for some new small retail buildings to be constructed as part of the vision to create a vibrant, walkable neighborhood within the current shopping center real estate. Again, this will require construction of new municipal and utility infrastructure. If you look here, you can see the area generally where we're proposing to construct new sewer and water lines, relocate an existing storm sewer line, and additionally create new green spaces, sidewalks, and vehicular circulation patterns that calm traffic and encourage walkability within the site and promote connectivity of the site within the surrounding neighborhood. Our preliminary engineering estimates here for the project scope, as outlined there, will be an additional $6.5 million. On your agenda today are contracts, two of them, to start the process of surveying the site and to create the design and construction drawings for this infrastructure project. We would anticipate completing the design and bidding of the infrastructure by the end of the third quarter of 2026, and then hopefully looking at construction shortly after that. As part of our application process, we asked Baker Tilly to provide an analysis of the feasibility for us to be able to pay back these bonds using this South Consolidated TIF. This is a proposed 10-year payback schedule. As you can see, even incorporating in the debt service associated with the $10 million loan, we still maintain debt coverage ratios well over 180%. With that, I'm happy to answer or address any questions you might have.
Mike, I have a couple questions. So are there going to be apartments or townhouses?
Yes.
Both. And you probably answered this before, but what is the percentage going to be of low income?
So we don't know yet. We know we have interest from development partners, both La Casa and Habitat, for both rental and ownership occupied affordable. But we also want to maintain a certain level of market rate opportunities for private development as well. We're not there yet. We just got to start with constructing the infrastructure.
Thank you.
So you need a motion to adopt a resolution which approves $10,500,000 of residential infrastructure bonds with the final maturity in 20 years and an interest rate not to exceed 6%.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments from the commissioners? Any questions or comments from members of the public? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, thank you. I have one little thing I forgot to do.
Okay.
May I have a motion to amend the November 12th regular minutes, please?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. All those in favor, please signify by
Aye.
saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Thank you, Willie.
Good catch.
Okay. 1030 Princeton.
Staff is just asking the commission to offer the parcel owned by the Redevelopment Commission at 1030 Princeton to the general public for $6,200 for development of a single family home owner occupied build.
So you need a motion to approve the resolution as presented, authorizing the issue or the offering of 1030 Princeton Street to the public at large, approving the offering sheet and the offering of the property at $6,200 and approving the form of public notice, which will be published in the Elkhart Truth.
So move.
Second.
Any questions or comments from the commissioners? Questions or comments from members of the public? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Resolution approved. Thank you. Elkhart County Convention and Visitor Bureau. I said I was going to say the whole thing.
You should have received in your packet some materials pertaining to the 2026 marketing cooperative program for both Exit 92 and for Do Downtown for our continuing that program. I think the materials include a summary of 2025 activities and successes along with the plans for 2026. I will say just on the front end, in particular with the Do Downtown, when I started 3 years ago, there was a more uncertainty, I think, among some of the merchants and the leadership of the Merchants Association about the general program. We've worked intentionally with the CVB, and I think in this year's materials, you'll see many of the leadership and many of the downtown merchants are actually quoted about the success of the program. So there's been a lot of hard work in the last 3 years to make and modify this program and make sure that it does in fact engage and respond to and incorporate thoughts and actions from the merchants, guided by the expertise of the CVB, which is why we hire them to do this. Thanks.
Thank you, Mike. John Hunsberger, Executive Director for the Elkhart County Convention Visitors Bureau. And I like to think of it as a partnership. Yes, we do work together. This is a dollar for dollar match. And so we aim to extend and amplify the city's dollars in promoting our wonderful community. And so I will start with the Exit 92 campaign, and you have received in your packet two products. One is the proposal, also has 2025 results in it. And so it's pretty extensive. We've been, again, working with Mike to understand how we can best communicate not only what we're doing, but how is it making a difference. And so we've been able to communicate that, we feel, in a lengthy way, hopefully concise as well. Just to remind you, the Exit 92 campaign is designed to convert Indiana toll road travelers into hotel guests, diners, and shoppers within the Cassopolis Street corridor and adjacent areas. It positions the Exit 92 as a premier, trusted, convenient, smart shop along the 80/90 toll road. It strengthens Elkhart's identity as the gateway to northern Indiana and reinforces the density of lodging, dining, and retail offerings found nowhere else along the toll road, which is, I will just say this, how do we do this? We do this with billboards primarily. So we have most of our toll roads that we are able to, when they're available, capture them either in Elkhart County or in St. Joe. It gets extremely expensive once you get into Porter and Lake County. But we also know that when the travelers have time to respond quickly near the exit, they often do. This is further reinforced by our digital campaigns. So we use now a company called Azira. So Azira is a location-based digital advertising platform that uses precise geo-targeting. I know we've talked about this a little bit in the past, so some of this may be unfamiliar or familiar, but for some of you, it may be newer. It is geo-targeting behavioral data and mobile device tracking to reach the travelers to inform them of the amenities at Exit 92 and measure when those ads drive visits. So we can actually see when someone opens their phone and they see the ad. They have up to 45 days to respond to that. And a positive response would be that they then were at a hotel and they stayed there for more than 8 hours. And so digitally, we can track this. And so we're in the guide, we do communicate that information. It is also important to note that no personal information is ever collected on those travelers, is anonymized by device. And so it is one tactic that we found extremely powerful has been, again, used in case studies and has been used to promote this tactic across the U.S. So highly effective as we layer our opportunities to promote and market Exit 92 and the 50-plus restaurants, 20-plus hotels, and the major retail offerings at Exit 92. In addition to this, we are supporting the sports, the activities that happen adjacent to Exit 92. So the Moose Rugby is also one of those not necessarily hidden gems that we have here in Elkhart County, but is a significant attraction of youth sports, youth collegiate sports, as well as adult sports, rugby to Elkhart. They primarily use the hotels and restaurants at Exit 92. They love the convenience, and so that only continues to ramp up. And we have hope to announce some future development that'll be happening there at the Moose Rugby facility here in the near future, but that it is continuing to expand and attract national events. And so continuing to support Exit 92 and its economic development and status along the toll road. Are there any questions beyond what has been shared with you? I do want to talk a little bit about the pamphlet as well. You received a pamphlet that highlights, again, all of the amenities that we mentioned before. What we are looking to do with this product is Ohio Turnpike, which is pretty nice now. If you've ever traveled it, is pretty nice. The Turnpike itself actually produces a map, a exit by exit map. We looked at that as an opportunity to be able to communicate Exit 92 along the toll road. So this is actually just a first step in developing a pamphlet, which will ultimately become a map. So it'll double in size and be a map of the entire toll road, but it will highlight Exit 92, explain to travelers where they're at along the map, but then also all the opportunities that they have at Exit 92 to shop and stay and dine along Exit 92. So this is just the first step. So we're excited to continue to expand that here in 2026. Yes, people still like paper maps, not just apps, although we like apps too. Are there any questions about Exit 92 at this time?
John, I have a question.
Yes.
You know, Notre Dame and Icebox are bringing in a tremendous amount of hockey tournaments. Do you communicate with them at all to try to get the word out that if people want to stay here or look at our restaurants?
So we don't directly communicate with Icebox. We do have hoteliers that own hotels in South Bend, Mishawaka as well. So we do communicate with our hoteliers to ensure that they also point over here to Elkhart. We have done some geo-targeting when it comes to football, but we have not done anything with hockey or other sports. We don't typically see a higher number of stays. Now, we cannot see specific hotel performance. We can only see it when it's generalized to a minimum of 4 hotels at any given time. So we can see patterns of activity. We don't generally see them increase because of other sports activities. Football is significant. We not only see that in the selling out of hotels, but also the room rates usually are higher.
Yeah.
Yes. But they are, I would also say the South Bend, Mishawaka is investing in facilities near their eastern border, our western border. So we are seeing that the field house is an amenity that they've invested in that we are reaping the benefit because they are seeing increased traffic and then the overflow comes over our way. So that is an investment that we get the benefit of. So, okay.
So we need a motion to approve the resolution as presented, which approves the 2026 strategy for the Exit 92 program. It approves the agreement contract for services attached and appropriates $160,000 from the Cassopolis TIF to cover our share of that program.
So move.
Second.
Any questions, other questions from the commissioners? Any other questions from the public? Which we don't have much of today virtually. Okay. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Step 2.
Step 2, do downtown. So I know Mike highlighted the activity and how we've been working together. And it has been very, very positive to get the engagement of our merchants in making it meaningful and a value add to them. And so I'll just start here, just again, a reminder, the downtown needs hyper-local business-focused promotion, which this cooperative program specifically delivers. It is developed with the Downtown Merchants Alliance, who is made up of downtown business owners, and those downtown businesses ask for this focused support, particularly video storytelling, radio interviews, and digital ads promoting specific events. Downtown businesses are not only asking for this, they help build it with the radio content and events, making this marketing initiative uniquely tailored to their needs. So with the radio ads, it was really kind of cool to see how this all worked out. And this is not something that we typically do with radio ads, but understanding what our merchants were looking for, and then how can we drive that message to the audience that particularly would want to hear that. The radio has been very effective. There certainly are some quotes in the updated proposal. And how did y'all like the new updated proposal? We did work hard to not only have data statistics, but some comments from the merchants as well. But the radio campaign was really successful. We were finding that our merchants were seeing results come through that, and when they believe and see the results, then it, for us, reinforces that we need to continue this. So that will be continued in 2026. Also, with the website improvements, we do have a new software which is being able to utilize to enhance the website. It's called ITI Digital, which increases or improves the usability, the visitor engagement, the business listings, as well as the event calendar functionality. It does this by correlating. It is an increased time on the website, so people are staying longer. They're looking at the website, finding more information. There was just more attendance in our events, as well as higher restaurant lookup. So people are finding ways to know and understand what's going on and where to go eat or shop in downtown Elkhart. So we're seeing those numbers move the needle. What we're excited for in 26 is to continue the collaboration with the Elkhart County. That's just habit. Elkhart Parks Department, Parks and Rec, on art walk this year, as well as in 26, we will be focusing our restaurant weeks into just focusing on Elkhart. What the feedback was from the county-wide restaurant weeks helped us decide to focus on Elkhart. And so we're excited to do that this year. Again, that will probably be the end of February, beginning of March is where we're targeting that. And so I would just say that the consistent layered messaging leads to this brand recognition of Do Downtown and all the activities, which leads to audience activation. The predictability develops trust and something that is true and something they can rely on. So knowing and hearing that things are happening in downtown and that they can predict it, and they was like, hey, I'm gonna go downtown because I know I can get a great bite to eat. There's shopping, there may be live music, We know that's all becomes predictable and that gets people downtown. So that's what we want to see. All builds into a brand identity and recognition, ultimately driving economic success in our community. So I will pause there. Is there anything for Do Downtown that you have any questions on the campaign?
This is great. Great, great. Thank you.
Perfect.
So you need a motion to adopt a resolution which approves 2026 strategy for the Do Downtown program, approves the contract for services attached, and appropriates $60,000 from the allocation area number 1 special fund to pay for our contribution to the program.
So move.
Second.
Any other questions or comments from the commissioners? Any questions or comments from members of the public? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Resolution granted. This is one, we really appreciate the partnership with you all. You work so hard, and congratulations on the award, the partnership award that you won
Thank
this
you.
year.
Yes, we got, it's recognized and understood, like partnerships like this are unique and don't happen very often. So we are very grateful to the Commission for Redevelopment Commission for partnering with us, trusting us, and continued further success. So thank you.
John, I got a couple other things for you to sign here. I forgot to have you sign it.
Okay. Juke Entertainment contract.
So while we're sharing in the great news, the success of the Do Downtown in particular, of the partnership with the Convention and Visitors Bureau, like to roll right into, last year was a year 1 experimental partnership relationship that we entered into with Juke Entertainment as a way to kind of continue to activate downtown. We had seen some diminishing returns on the Art Walk previously. And then obviously Art Walk was taken over by the City Parks Department, and John and his team, I think, will do a great job kind of helping relift that back up. But I think you're going to appreciate the story and the results that came out of the Juke. I think there's a lot of similar results and similar stories there. In terms of building small business trust, building a foundation of support within the community, and building a base of activities and starting to change people's perceptions about downtown, and then also having direct financial impacts on participating businesses, and in paying off for those who decided to. This program, I think, really kind of helped take some of the risk out of making some of these kinds of decisions, and then really kind of supporting the 100-year birth anniversary of the learner, and our ability to start to build our reputation, or I guess grow or accelerate our reputation with live music in the city, things we've historically done and done well, in starting to, again, build that reputation that Elkhart can be a destination for live music. So I'm going to ask Griffin to come up. He's got a presentation to show real quick, kind of hit the highlights of 25 and talk a little bit about moving the program forward. Again, we're looking at a request for some additional funding to take this from year 1 to year 2. We indicated last year there would be a reduction. We would be doing some one-time investments with the request last year. The request this year is a little bit lower, and we think we're bumping up the community sponsorship support as a result of that as well. So I'll let Griff kind of get into some of the details.
Thanks, Mike. So Griffin Eaton, CEO of Juke, and it was exciting. We're about a year out from when I stood in front of you last year with basically the thesis that live music isn't just about entertainment, but it's an economic engine and can be a catalyst for city vibrancy. You can go to the next slide if you'd like. The mission is pretty specific. It's to activate Elkhart's venues and public spaces to drive foot traffic and regional identity, and moving from a city with music to a music town. And so today I'll basically just walk through three things. Essentially, what do we do? What do we accomplish? What was the impact? And then what's the proposed plan in 2026? So slide, thank you. So recapping, oh, we got a little formatting issue, that's okay. Recapping everything that was accomplished last year. In short, it was the foundational year. So we recruited 16 different venues. We recruited the small businesses. We established a messaging and content campaign, basically Elkhart's musical heritage revived. We had a social program. We had signage in all the different venues. Oh, you can go one more. Yep. That's okay. We implemented a survey, both a baseline and a recent survey to measure impact. We certainly were booking venues or booking shows, and then we were working deliberately with every one of those venues throughout the year. We even created a monthly venue alignment meeting. So a lot was accomplished. And so if we advance a slide, we'll start to see some of, well, what do we do and what was the impact there? So broadly speaking, the number of shows of live music was doubled last year. So had there, in the absence of Music Town, there would have been roughly 128 shows among 10 venues. As it stood, there was 252 venues among 252 shows among 16 venues. And so when we look at the shows come from 85 sponsored shows and 24 catalyzed shows. Catalyzed shows are essentially shows that the venue has booked themselves independent of us, but through this program or as a catalyzed by this program. A simple example would be talking with The Vine. She'd been thinking about bringing music back, had not. And then as a result of us sitting down with her, she ended up doing, I think, 15 shows this past year that otherwise would not have happened. And there's other stories to that effect. So you can advance the slide, please. When we calculate self-reported food and beverage impact from venues, just shy of 300,000 in economic food and beverage impact from the venues, about 40,000 from the different local artists that we were booking. Among those 124 shows, there were roughly 17,000 attendees, again, self-reported. And the emails captured, we captured just north of 7,000 emails. Advances. And so if we look at the different participating venues, 16 venues, as I mentioned, primarily in the downtown corridor. Advance, slide. Oh, I'm sorry. Yep. No, thank you. And just to give you a sample of, here were some of the types of shows that we were booking as sponsored shows at the different venues. You can advance to the next slide and we can look at some of the catalyzed shows. As I mentioned, there were 39. I think I talked about certainly The Vine, 7 different shows at the Library of Songs and Stories. The Lexington Event Center did a number of shows and on and on. And next year, and even as early as lunch this morning, I was speaking with one of the venues talking about their commitment to doing even more in this next year. And I'll, God willing, have more of those conversations this week with our venue. And then we talked about the messaging. So we wanted to come up with essentially a central theme that we could talk to residents and visitors about, and that this is a, bringing back Elkhart's musical heritage, reviving it, single call to action and a single QR code. So that's, at a nutshell, everything that we did last year. Slide, please. And so now if we look at the impact directly on the venues, 100%, all 16 of those venues will continue into 2026 if the program continues. We'll also advance. There's probably 3 to 5 more venues that we have targeted that would be great on the program. I mentioned the 39 catalyzed shows next year. I think we can get to at least 66 or perhaps doubling that. Oh no, 100. That's apologies. A lot of numbers. And then certainly I've talked about the food and beverage impact. Slide. One of the next new things we'll be building and have built and will be rolling out for the venues. It's also a really simple calendar so that they can look and see, here's myself, here's as a venue, here are all the other venues, and what has everyone else booking, whether it's coming through Music Town or not. So at a glance, if you're the general manager, you can start to 2 months out, 3 months out, start to see, oh, if I'm deciding between a Tuesday and a Wednesday and a genre, I can see it. We don't want to overwhelm venues. They've got a lot going on, but this is the simple view. And then because we're so active with all the venues and stealing a bit of the thunder later, but we will continue to be very involved with every venue. So they know how to use it. They understand what's going on. And it could be the situation where we're being more of a consultant there, where we're telling them what the insight is. So we'll see how that goes, but that's been asked for by the venues, as well as more resident feedback. And then I also had a number of, in addition to securing partnership from the venues in next year, a number of them shared testimonials. I shared a few. Here's one from Jeremy Perez at the Lexington Event Center, just talking about, from his observation, the impact that it's had on downtown. Mark Doddington and Bill at the Ruthmere, they highlighted some of the operational help we were able to give them. And then Laurel at Brass Elk, and she was an interesting one, just recognizing that she's like, hey, I can do an even better job and in helping cross promote. And that again will feed into how we're working with the venues and the artists to cross promote these shows. We talk about the artists. Sorry, I'll pick it up the pace. So we talk about the artists. 40,000 plus in economic impact. Quote from the Bergamot, a local band that's kind of made it nationally. They did a great show at Amici. And basically talking about, their commentary was the struggle they had in launching themselves as an artist, and they could see like, hey, in this new era, it would have been easier. Slide, please. All the artists that we worked with last year would like to work with us again this year. We'll also expand that. I talked about the economic impact. And then a handful of other artists also shared positive testimonials with us about just being able to gig more and how important that is. Slide. And then I really like this slide. So we did 2 big surveys of residents and visitors. So we had 458 respondents. We had about 250 or so in the spring, and then the remaining in the fall. And what we were trying to pinpoint was, are we changing sentiment and are we changing vibrancy? It's sentiment in the music scene and sentiment and vibrancy. And we did materially. So the gray line, it's a little cut off on the other side, but that's the overall sample. So essentially the baseline was a 6.1. And then just recently, kind of hot off the press, they were saying, look, the live music scene in Elkhart is now a 6.7. So about a 10% increase. To look at a baseline, to get percentage points sort of in general nationwide city vibrancy metrics, you'd be talking 1 to 2 percentage points. And then if we drill down into different important segments like younger working adults and also visitors, we see an even bigger lift. So younger adults started with a bit more negative sentiment of vibrancy at the 5.5, but they had the biggest increase to 6.4, almost a full point. And then visitors had the same perception of a baseline as our locals of 6.1, and they jumped all the way up to 6.9. It's something we'll be continually measuring. It was really important that we got the baseline to say, are we moving the needle from sentiment? Because sentiment's a bit hard to kind of put your fingers on. It's easier to talk about food and beverage numbers, but food and beverage numbers are driven by sentiment. If we focus on the younger adults a bit, you can just, because they're a key segment, again, that lower baseline of 5.5, jumping to 6.4. If we look at the visitors, so these are 160 individuals from the 25-minute drive, so our neighboring communities, Granger, South Bend, Osceola, the 6.1 up to the 6.9. And then I also threw the city vibrancy line on here. So the blue line is the music scene, essentially, of like, how would you rate the music scene? The green line is city vibrancy, where we see that live music is a component of vibrancy, and overall vibrancy can even be pulled up just by live music. And then we had another 53 or so respondents from like Fort Wayne and that type of area. They actually had the highest sentiment. It's a smaller sample, so I didn't put it down. You got to be a little more directionally relevant, but it was up to a 7.3. And again, we see that same shift. No matter what sort of segment we looked at, we saw that same directional increase. So, and I like, because this was a lot of this work we did was foundational. So you're not getting resident benefit yet from when we talk to a venue about what is this program and what are we doing. Once we got into the meat and potatoes, it was almost June. And so all that lift has been from June to now. And then we talk about the sponsors. Mike mentioned shifting the financial burden to the private sector. So we've got continued participation from the CBP, awesome partner in this as well. We Impact is going to continue and increase their sponsorship. And then a big part of our efforts are going to be finding the remaining delta between our target is 100,000. So we've been actively talking to our local philanthropists and local companies to reach that goal. So, and then we also be able to have some potential national brands in there as a potential sponsor. So that's where that 100K would come from. Okay, the proposal for 2026. 4 key elements. So better programming, communication. We got to keep that's the next big improvement piece. Let's make sure we're getting the word out to the residents and visitors. Feedback or resident interactivity, having a more continual conversation, making sure residents feel like part of the scene, and then deeper engagement with the community partners. I'll walk through each of them. So the deeper engagement with the partners, we already were working with every venue on that list. This is really just the next step. A learner, well, the venues, the general booking the right shows. And that's a strategic, it's deliberate. So, I mean, that's looking at what do residents want? What do they want? What else is going on different nights of the week? Really kind of smart booking, if you will. Encouraging the catalyzed shows. I mentioned the story of meeting with the venue today and, hey, what shows would you like to put on? And then managing these regular alignment meetings that we'll be doing with all the venues. We've already done 2 very well attended, which I think is a great sign of this is something they wanted, but kind of needed a convening factor. The learner is a very important, kind of pillar here. So we'll continue our kind of strategic relationship of how this supports what they're doing. Existing city events will basically bring that sort of learner conversation to all those city events. Artists, we didn't do a lot of sort of, besides booking the artists, we didn't work with them a lot this time. It'll be around promotion. The most important thing we can do on the communication, the promotion part is signage and then working digitally or digital promotion, but working through our partners. So working through the venue and their audience, working through the artist and their audience. There's a million things these folks have to do, so we're going to make it easy for them. We've got we have posters that we're generating and we can just give to them. So we can create the content, we can just give to them regularly to make it kind of an easy button for them. Promoters like Rob Taylor, kind of bringing their creative ideas to life. Sponsors and then retail shops that's on the signage front. Slide. Resident engagement, we're continuing to develop our technology to basically just invite the participants into the music, both feedback live, but also during and after. So helping them find shows, helping them influence the things that we're booking and the things they want to see. And I think that's where this sentiment came from. The 3 things that popped out in the baseline survey, they wanted more shows, they wanted a kind of broader variety, and they wanted more awareness. And all of those metrics in the second survey, they kind of said, you're doing a better job on that. So communication, it's all about signage and then working with our venues, our venue partners and artists. Slide. And then improving the quality of programming. So because we're just focusing on the meat and potatoes, it gives us more time to make sure we're getting the right show, we're getting unique stuff. And also would shift towards series so that each of these shows can also start to develop a bit of their own brand, which also allows for more unique marketing opportunities, hats, certain different swag. And so there's a lot of things that on the programming side, and also we can learn from the mistakes. We can learn from shows that didn't go well. And so That'll be a big effort, of course, in this piece. So 2026 is all about kind of the meat and potatoes, more and better shows, and great communication about what's going on. Slide. And so it's just the summary slide of, this program. And it's, I think we've got great foundation. We're excited to take the next leap in 2026. Thank you. Slide. Yes.
Great.
Any questions or?
I have two questions.
Sure.
Are you working with Bill Murray at all for the Light Up Elkhart? They're starting to meet next week or this week. Because you might want to coordinate some of the things that are going on to some of the things they're going to be planning.
I've not, would love to.
Okay, Mike can give you the contact information. Secondly, so did you have anything to do with Cool and the Gang or a girl named Tom?
No,
Oh.
no,
Okay,
no, no. I mean, I know, I say I stumble because I know Scott and all those folks, so we discussed it, but, and turned out, sound like a great success.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So you know that Bill Murray guy?
The what?
You know that Bill Murray guy?
Yeah. He's my husband.
Griff, while you're here, I'll have you sign the agreement too.
Okay.
So you'd need a motion to approve the collaboration agreement with Juke Technologies, Inc. and appropriate the $100,000 fee from the downtown TIF, consolidated TIF, Cassopolis TIF and Tech Park TIF in equal shares.
So move.
Second.
Any other questions or comments from the commission? I do want to say that I'm very impressed with how quickly things have improved. And I mean, I don't get out a lot, but I have friends that have been, Elkhart's getting more music and I'm sure all of it is directed at, or you're responsible for it. So we
No,
appreciate
it's awesome. And this really is an innovative solution. And I mean, it's a testament to what you all are deciding to do, and no one else is doing this. So it is pretty cool that how you all are first movers and leaning into this and, believing in the concept, and then just advocating for it because it's working. It's awesome.
I'm sure it'll get even better.
I hope you'll do another quarterly report for us, please.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Any questions or comments from members of the public? Oh, here's one.
John Hunsberger, the ECCVB. Just want to say it's been a pleasure working with Griff and his team. Have also been excited to see come along the journey with Juke, and excited for 2026, and absolutely could be a model for other communities to see how they can also activate their downtown and how live music can be something significant. And so, but certainly with not replicable with what we have here in Elkhart and the legacy that we have with live music. And so we support.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public?
Unless you do.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Resolution approved. All right. Oh. Mural contracts.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
that's you.
That is me. Good afternoon, Adam Fan, Assistant Director of Redevelopment. So as part of the Second Street update program that the commission has been asked to be involved with, obviously the planters that you appropriated funds for as part of that, the administration asked staff to look into a mural program of sorts. So with the opening of the Benham Underpass and kind of the blank canvas that we had there, we reached out to a local being South Bend artist by the name of Alex Ann Allen. I worked with her on the portrait of Paul Thomas that we did in the alley through the Pillars organization. Fantastic artist. She's done several murals in South Bend. She puts on an event every year, where I think it's the past 3 years, called Mural Mania. And she brings in different muralists from all over the country. I think they've done 17 or 18 murals in the city of South Bend. So I just kind of wanted to introduce you to the artists. Alex is the primary. She wanted to collaborate with two of her, I think, favorite muralists that she's worked with. Brittany and Efron are a husband and wife group out of Austin, Texas. Slide, please. So what we're going to be doing is, so I guess the intent here is we're going to kind of base this off of Elkhart, itself. So there'll be kind of iconography from the community, kind of Easter eggs within the thing, a lot of geometric shapes. That's kind of Alex's specialty. The other two artists kind of deal more in the realistic anatomy, portraiture, plants, animals, that type of thing. But Mike and I and the mayor sat down with Alex, I don't know, maybe a couple months ago, and just kind of went over what we kind of thought we wanted to see, inside these murals. She's obviously going to put a design together and then, present it to us, and we'll go through it and adjust things that need to be adjusted. But slide. So these are just some of the clients that the muralists have had. Slide, please. Some feedback. I'll make this quick so I don't bore you too much. And then we'll get into We'll get into some of the examples of the muralists that will be working on ours. Slide, please. So this is one that Alex did over on 33 going towards Goshen. It was an idea that the gift shop owner had, and I think Alex kind of killed it. It's all done in spray paint. I mean, it's pretty incredible, the kind of things that they can do and the scale that they can do. Slide, please. This is one that she did in Benton Harbor, Michigan. It doesn't really, to me, it doesn't really give the scale of it because it's an aerial shot, but I mean, that's the entire front of the whole building. It's just a really, really cool image. Slide. This is one that Brittany did in Austin, I believe. I mean, I think that's a parking garage, so that's a rather large. Slide. Another one that Brittany did. I believe this one is in South Bend. Yeah, it is. But again, all spray paint. Slide. And this is one that Efren did. It's actually a picture of him and his daughter, or their daughter, I should say. It's also in South Bend on the, I think it's Howard Park area, something like that, right along the river. Also, I mean, just like the color to me, very, very cool. Slide. This is also one that Efren did. City of Los Angeles. One of the other components that is going to be involved in this project is, so either side of the north side of the underpass on either side, north or west side and east side, there's the wing walls. Those will be actual painted murals. And then underneath the bridge on the east side, we're going to do, the initial plan was to do a very long continuous mural underneath there, but in a very similar fashion to what I did in the alley, where it's just imagery done on like vinyl, and then it's applied to a substrate, and then you just kind of hang it on a steel frame. Next slide. So this is kind of an example of some of the things that Alex has done vinyl work. It's a lot different than what the painted work is, but everything is going to have kind of a cohesive feel to it. But we're actually going to bring the scale of the murals that are underneath the bridge down to probably doing 3 20-foot by probably 10-foot panels spaced evenly underneath the bridge. Because of the way that the lighting is, and they've got some wall pack lighting and stuff, we decided that was a little bit better idea. So this is the location. The upper left-hand corner is obviously the west or east side. See the railroad or the depot there in the background. Top right is the west side, and then the bottom one obviously is the one that's underneath. Again, it's not going to be a continuous. It'll be 3 large scale I think the one that I did in the alley, I think that's 20 by 8, so it'll be relatively, that size, and we can go a little bit bigger too. Slide. So, we're going to work through the process. We're going to try to figure out what the design is. It's obviously going to be a bright and colorful, and shiny and smiley, and make everybody feel warm and fuzzy kind of situation. So the budget for this, we're asking the commission to appropriate $170,756.25 with contingency from the downtown TIF. This is going to be a not to exceed number. As you can see, there's some movement in some of the design and things like that, because we're going to kind of shrink the project a little bit with the murals underneath. So staff is requesting the commission appropriate funds from the downtown allocation area number 1 to fund this work.
So you need a motion to approve the resolution as presented, which authorizes the employment of the named artists at a base fee of $162,625 and provides for a 5% contingency fund to perform the services described and appropriating $170,756.25 from the downtown allocation area number 1 special fund.
So move.
Second.
Any questions or comments from the commissioners?
I have a couple questions, but you knew that.
Yeah.
Does the underpass, is that going to be closed for a while they're painting
No, they can do it from the sidewalk. They'll do it out of lifts, and they'll just do
Okay.
it straight off the sidewalk.
with spray paint?
Yeah, so they'll lay everything out, and then, it's going to take them, I think I left the timeline slide out of here, but it's going to take them several months to do. So yeah, the east side is a 10-foot pathway now, so people can get around, and then, they'll use smaller lifts to get up there and do the work.
Okay, and then there are a lot of other locations that we can have murals on. Are we contemplating how this is successful, and then we can maybe explore other murals?
Absolutely. And actually another agenda item is for the work that that CB Burke is going to do. And in that work, we're going to add a parking lot on the southwest side of the underpass. And as part of that project, we're going to put in like a retaining wall so we can do some mural
nice.
work there
Okay.
as well. So yes.
Thank you.
Any questions or comments from members of the public? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay,
Thank you.
I think this is really cool.
It's going to be really cool. I can't wait.
Okay, CB Burke contract amendment.
So we're just amending the contract we have with Burke to do the South Main infrastructure design. As part of this, there's some additional survey. And then, as I just spoke of, the parking lot there at the end of Freight Street where the commission bought the property, that parking lot would be built to support the Garrison Fraser development. And in that design, there's going to be a retaining wall that we would be looking at to do some more mural work on.
So you would need a motion to adopt the resolution as presented, which approves amendment number 1 to the CB Burke Engineering LLC contract, increases the total contract price to $250,310 and appropriates the sum of $93,580 from the downtown tax allocation area number 1 special fund to cover the cost of the additional services.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments from the commissioners? Any questions or comments from the public? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you. Boy. Music, art, wow.
Parking lots.
Parking lots, yeah. Really gotta have those. Neighborhood evolutions.
So what you have in front of you is a scope for 2026 continued engagement with Neighborhood Evolutions. This will be the start of, I think, year 3, contract 3. with the Neighborhood Evolutions team. We really have, if we think about where we started, and we bought them all to kind of where we're at with our strategies and pro formas. And again, a lot of foundational work's been done. Earlier in this meeting, you saw a presentation about constructing infrastructure and being prepared to develop new housing in the site. There's some additional work that needs to happen to get us to that space too, including rezoning the property to allow that to happen, as well as creating the framework for which and how we might transfer the property to developers who would be developing that housing, creating condominium documents and things that allow them to participate in things like common area maintenance and plowing and all of those wonderful things. So there's a lot, there's still a number of tasks kind of left to work through as we continue down this path. Those are outlined pretty, I think pretty thoroughly in the scope. Again, just looking at some continued guidance in leasing strategies and how we can continue to take a developer approach to the construction of the improvement of the building and the leasing of the spaces. So any questions you have, I'd be happy to answer.
So you need a motion to approve the resolution as presented, which approves the contract for services with Nevo at a fee of $59,500 and appropriates that sum from the consolidated South Elkhart TIF area.
So move.
Second.
Any questions or comments from the commissioners? Any questions or comments from members of the public? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Resolution approved. NCON change order.
Oh, that's actually a little further down, but go ahead.
Hello, this is for ANCON has presented us with two change orders. One is deductive, the other is additive. They've worked really hard to try to crunch some numbers for an issue that came up regarding the electrical on the Woodland Crossing area. They had planned on doing an amount of electrical work for the new build-out spaces. They did not count on having to revamp essentially the entire meter system that's on the back of the building. Most of the complex has already had the meters and the switchgear and other components updated. This section has not. So what they're proposing to us is a deduction for the amount that was going to be the daycare, and then adding in the cost for the new electrical work that will need to be done. The difference between those amounts is $58,594.80.
So you'd need a motion to approve the change orders submitted by ANCON Construction and increase the full contract price to $3,401,347.80 and appropriate the additional $58,594.80 from the consolidated South Elkhart TIF fund to cover the additional cost of the services.
So move.
Second.
Questions or comments from the commissioners? Questions or comments from members of the public? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed?
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, Woodland Crossing Infrastructure Design, Bodley. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, I think so. That's how I say it.
Okay, well, it's got to be.
We're going to stick with it. So in your packet, you have the contract for design services for the infrastructure that Mike spoke of earlier with the RIF loan. So really kind of self-explanatory. It's all the infrastructure associated with the redevelopment of the shopping mall. So staff is requesting the commission appropriate $385,800 from the consolidated TIF to pay for that work.
So you'd need a motion to approve the contract for design services for portions of the Woodland Crossing Shopping Center as presented, which approves the employment of Baudry WBK Engineering LLC to provide design services at a projected cost of $321,450 and appropriates the sum of $385,800, which includes additional funds to cover any contingencies that may arise from the consolidated South Elkhart TIF area.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments from the commissioners? Any questions or comments from members of the public? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Woodland Crossing Topographic Survey Contract.
So this is in association with the infrastructure contract we just spoke of. To be able to start that work, we needed a topo survey of the, I believe it's the western side of the shopping mall. So I asked JPR to put together this scope of work. So we are asking the commission to appropriate $20,500 out of the consolidated TIF to pay for the topo survey. So we can provide that to Bodway and start the design.
So you need a motion to approve the employment of JPR to provide the survey services at a not to exceed cost of $20,500 and approve the form of engagement letter attached.
So move.
Second.
Questions or comments from the commissioners? Questions or comments from members of the public? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution granted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Amendment to 2025 Woodland Crossing Operations Budget.
So this request, this request is in response to us working with our controller's office. We had presented a budget at the beginning of the year. I think we amended it at one point in the middle of the year. One of the fund lines has incurred more costs than we anticipated in the budget. We have dollars in the account. We just need to shift them and bring them to this account, new dollars into this account so we can pay some invoices related to that.
So you would need a motion to approve the increase of the professional service line for the Woodland Crossing operation budget by $22,000 to cover lease commissions due on renewed leases and the December property management fee. And authorize the controller to make the appropriate encode changes.
So move.
Second.
Questions or comments from the commissioners? Questions or comments from members of the public? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Resolution granted. Phew, this has been a long agenda.
It seemed like it went faster at pre-agenda. I don't know.
Pardon?
Felt like it went faster at pre-agenda. I don't know.
Woodland Crossing 2026 operating expenses budget.
So this is our best estimates as we go into the 2026 year. Mary spent a considerable amount of time working with the folks from Cressy who do the property management and the team from Nevo to try to understand what and how we need to appropriate the resources to accomplish the things we want to do. Next year, I think you've already appropriated or approved the CAM budget at a previous meeting. So this incorporates that along with some of the other operational costs into the larger budget. This is actually the form that we will work then with the controller's office to get into the correct level of detail so that hopefully, I mean, I'm sure we'll have some amendments to it, but hopefully we won't have a ton of amendments where we have to come back and do what we just asked you to do. Or at least it's in December again, right? So.
So you need a motion to approve the operations budget for 2026 for the Woodland Crossing Shopping Center.
So move.
Second.
Questions or comments from members of the commission? Questions or comments from members of the public? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Staff updates.
No real updates right now. I guess one update I have is, I think we're looking at a January, February delivery date for the planters. And I do believe the intent is to take delivery and place them at the same time. And then we'll work on filling them and getting plant material and things in the spring, so.
Great. Thank you.
And I don't have any real project updates, just one update for all of you. The mayor's open house is this Thursday, is holiday open house. I think it starts at 11 and goes to like 3 in the afternoon. It will not be in here this year. It will actually be in the lobby of the Learner. And I think Kurt's team will do the catering over there. So
In the
it's,
lobby where?
at the Learner.
Oh,
Yep. So, please come. Please join the mayor. It is a food drive as well for Church Community Services. So if you want to bring some food for the food drive as well. But look forward to seeing you all there and hope you all have a happy holidays.
Thanks, sir.
And all of the staff, even those who aren't here. Okay. Oregon Boyne invoice. I'm showing 12,354.52.
Correct.
All right. Do I?
What have you been doing, man?
Eating turkey.
I have a motion to approve the invoice, please.
so move.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? And I think we do have a TIF report this time. Outside of that, any public comment? We don't really have any public, do we? Okay, in that case, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.